Hello. So today we're going to do a sequence on core stability, core strength, and we're going to focus on the front, sides, and back to support core stability and strength. So we're going to come onto your back to start, and we're going to start working with the deepest abdominal muscles, which are the most stabilizing uh, for our low backs, for core strength and stability. So we're going to start with just pelvic tilts. So I can press into my feet to press my low back down towards the floor, or I can use my abdominals to do that. And I'm going to think about using my abdominals more than my feet. So as I exhale, I'm going to press the low back down. It's a subtle movement. And then as I inhale, I'm going to come back to neutral spine. So we'll do about 5 of those. Okay, so when you felt your low back going down towards the floor, it may or may not touch the floor, and that's fine either way. It doesn't need to touch the floor. You're just moving in that direction. So if that felt like enough work for you today, fantastic. You can stick with core pelvic tilts, working the core. The next step, if you wanted to add on to that, would be to press your low back down towards the floor and keep it down the whole time. So your low back isn't going to pop up and down. You're going to keep it down, and you're going to lift up your left leg. So your thigh is perpendicular to the floor and your calf is parallel to the floor. You'll bring that foot down. Notice if your low back wanted to pop up, you're going to keep it down, and then you'll take the other foot up. Thigh perpendicular to the floor and calf parallel. So we'll do about 5 of those on each side. So you can move with your breath. When you inhale, you're bringing the leg up. When you exhale, you bring it down. Okay. If you want to add on, this time you're going to take both feet off the floor. Then you're going to try to keep your low back down towards the floor. So if you can't keep it down, you feel like your low back is popping up, stick with this one or pelvic tilts. You'll actually do more stabilizing of your core than if you're here, but your low back is popping up and down. So if you're working here, your low back is going to be down the whole time, and then you're going to exhale, bring your right toes to the mat, and then bring your knees back together. You exhale as the toes come down, inhale as the knees come back together. Okay, and then once you've done about 5 on each side, you can bring your feet down, and we're going to turn over onto our bellies from here and come into Sphinx. So you've got your elbows underneath your shoulders, and you're lifting up into Sphinx, and you're going to tuck your toes under. So we're going to come into forearm plank here. You can keep your knees down the whole time, or you can lift your knees up. I'll show you both options. So as you lift up, you're going to try to bring your hips right in line with the rest of your spine. The crown of your head is reaching forward. This could be plenty, or you can lift your knees off the mat. Look a little bit forward of your hands so the back of your neck is long. And we'll stay here. You can come in and out of knees up or down. And you might start with 2 breaths or 5 breaths or 10 breaths. And then when you're ready, you'll come down. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it on our side. So you'll come to one side. You can have your elbow right underneath your shoulder. Your feet have a couple of options. So stacking in front of each other will give you a little more balance. This foot in front with the knee bent will give you even more support. And you can also keep this hand down or keep the hand up. Feet stacked on top of each other will be the most challenging for balance. So I'm going to show you all three. So one version is here where I've got the hand on the floor, the foot on the floor. Next option is to take your feet stacked in front of each other. And then third option is to have your feet stacked on top of each other, your hand at your hip or your hand up. And again, we'll take about two breaths, 3 breaths, 5 breaths. You decide. And then to come down, you'll bring your hips down and we'll switch sides. If this doesn't work for your shoulder, you can also do it on your hand. So it would be kind of the same situation. Foot can be in front or foot can be on the back for side plank. So that's just another variation as well. All right, so we'll start with the first version. So you've got your elbow underneath your shoulder, foot stacked in front to support and lift. You could stay here, or feet stacked in front of each other, or feet stacked on top of each other, and possibly that arm will go up. Okay, and then we'll come down. And we'll come back to the belly, and now we're going to work the back a little bit. So we're going to do 3 different versions of locust or shalabhasana. So we'll exhale first, and then as you inhale, you can lift your chest and lift your arms. This might be plenty. If you want, you can also lift your legs. If that puts too much pressure on your low back, keep your feet down. Take a few breaths here in this version. And I'm going to show you a few different arm versions, which will just get into different parts of the back. So if this one feels the best, you can stay with this. Next version is the arms come out to the side like airplane wings. Of course, if you need a break between versions, go ahead and come down, take a few breaths, and then come back up. And then the last version, you're taking your arms forward. If that puts too much pressure on your low back, you can also bend your elbows. And then lower down. We'll return to our backs. And after all that strengthening we just did in the core of the body, we'll take the soles of your feet together, your knees open, bring your hands to your belly. You're welcome to close your eyes, and then take a few slow, deep breaths into your belly. As you inhale, the belly expands, takes up more space. And as you exhale, the belly softens back towards the spine. You can stay here longer if you'd like. When you're ready, you can roll over to your side and eventually come up to a seat. And thanks for watching.